You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, amplifying the trans and gender non-conforming voices of Brisbane and beyond.
Hello, you're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ. My name is Ez, I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm Kai and I use they, them pronouns, and she, her sometimes, you never know.
Just mix it up.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month to you out there in Mianjin.
Yeah, Pride Month has also started off with my birthday, which is as per usual. So, woo! Yeah, it's a good time. It's a really good time. It's also Brisbane Festival out there, and it's also Bigsound. Bigsound. So if you like sound that is big, it's happening here in Brisbane over the next 3 days, 118 bands. We've got so much to talk about. Yeah, it's a packed episode as per usual.
Oh, it's a packed month.
It's a packed month. Oh my gosh. There's a lot going on. We're trying frantically as your transmission team to run around and attend all the things.
And bring you as much information about it as possible.
Yeah.
So that you can also run around to all of the things. We don't want you missing out.
No, we don't. So I'll give you a bit of a rundown of what's happening today. We've got the Week in Community Events. We'll give you some updates on that. We've also got the Week in Community News. And then we have a very special guest in. Frances has come in, who's a comedian from Ipswich. We'll be having an interview with her later in the episode. And then, to wrap off, we're going to be giving you some of the artists that the Transmission's picks for Bigsound, who we have just, who we know are openly trans and queer. We've put together a short list as well of artists that you might like to check out or put in your playlist as, a regular occurring band that you like.
Absolutely. If you can't make it to Bigsound or you're sadly not in Mianjin, you can look these artists up and
enjoy.
Yeah. See their other gigs. Keep an eye out for them, because this is where people start out. You can be cool and get to know them before they get big. Get to see them in those little intimate venues. Those are the gigs we love.
Yeah, you want them. It's the whole up close and personal experience. It feels intimate. It's great.
You don't get that once they're big.
That's right. Anyway, we'll start off with the Week in Community News.
Okay, so we've got
events. I apologize.
Events, yes. QC Health, the Pride High Tea location, Living Balance Cafe in Brighton, on Saturday, 17th of September, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Are you over 50? Join us to celebrate Pride with high tea with our LGBTQIA+, sister girl and brother boy communities, elders and older members of our communities, friends, families, chosen families, and support people. If you'd like to attend, you can email info@qc.org.au.
Nice. We've also got Sapphics Pride Party, which is at the Cave-In in Woolloongabba on Saturday the 24th of September from 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. This event will take place on the same day as Brisbane Pride Fair. So come on down after marching and enjoying the fair. We'll be dancing all afternoon long till 6 p.m. when the venue's next event starts. Please note that this event is not associated with Brisbane Pride Festival and it is an 18+ event, so remember to bring your ID. Keeping it simple as well, they've got a couple of DJs, they've got the Baseline Junkie and Cultivate. Accessibility, the venue does not have an accessible toilet and all toilets are accessible up a flight of stairs, so unfortunately this event may not be suitable for everyone with accessibility needs. But if you are interested in checking out Sapphics, tickets will be on the door, or you can head online over the Transmission Facebook page for all the deets at Trans Radio with a Z.
We've also got, on the same day, Your Pride Art Show 2022 at 10 Moreton Street, Paddington Community Hall. So Saturday, 24th of September, 2 p.m. till 9 p.m. This is a free event. Your Pride Art Show is an initiative of Our Pride Youth Advisory Group. Our Pride hosts the event annually during Brisbane Pride to celebrate community, colour and joy. Your Pride is an all-ages event featuring art from young people aged 16 to 25. All the artists showcase identify as LGBTQIA+ and come from across Australia. This year our theme is home. We invited artists to create pieces that reflect where and or when they feel the safest to be themselves as young LGBTQIA+ people. Queerbait and Gay Recess will be playing from 4:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. Free snacks and non-alcoholic drinks will be available. There's also a store where you can purchase postcard copies of artworks. Bring cash as we won't have credit. A quiet hour at the start of the event for people who find large crowds and lots of noise overwhelming. We will also have a quieter room available the whole event. That's gorgeous.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's also the night that the Queen's Ball is on.
No,
as well.
no,
isn't
not
it?
Queen's Ball. Alexander Ball.
Yeah, Alexander Ball. Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Correct.
Queen's Ball
The
has been.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Queen's Ball's already happened. Different queens.
Yeah.
Real royalty. We did want to say, if you can stop having all your events on the one day, though, we want to go to everything.
I think there's like 4. So there's, Pride Fair Day on the 24th of September, the Alexander Ball, your Pride Art Show, and then we've got Sapphics now on the 24th of September. Pride Month is a whole month, people. There are plenty of weekends to spread out your gatherings.
Spread it out. Yeah.
Please spread it out. I'm not going to attend all of them. We can't.
Yeah,
So
we want to. And I'm sure everyone else wants to as well. Like, you know, it's okay. We have time.
I do enjoy the option, though, of like many different things that I can attend.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go to all of them, and the thing is I can't if they're all on the same time. Anyway, just to maybe consider that.
Yeah,
for
take
us.
up space on my calendar. Don't be afraid. You know, like
fill the calendar.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But we're now going to go to some news. So that's it for events. We've got a bid to change Queensland law that allows religious schools to discriminate against gay teachers. So this is an excerpt from The Guardian. A controversial clause used by religious bodies to justify discrimination against transgender, gay and unmarried people should be abolished, a 14-month review into Queensland discrimination laws has found. The state's Human Rights Commissioner, Scott McDougall, said the Queensland Anti-Discrimination Act currently allows for faith-based schools to discriminate against teachers on the basis of their sexuality, pregnancy, relationship status and gender identity. In a report tabled in Parliament on Thursday after a comprehensive review of the Act, the Queensland Human Rights Commission said the Genuine Occupational Requirement Clause should be repealed and a new exemption introduced. The 420-page report makes 46 recommendations, including replacing the state's 30-year-old Discrimination Act by July 2023 in a bid to eliminate discrimination and sexual harassment. The QHRC has called for the repeal of several redundant exemptions, including one that allows employers to discriminate against sex workers and gender diverse and trans people when working with children. McDougall has said, the exemptions for working with children was clearly outdated and risk perpetuating harmful stereotypes. It's just not acceptable in today's world. So, more news to come on that. Okay.
Not so joyous news. Kiwi Farms, an internet hate forum for right-wing extremists, has been dropped by US hosting and web security provider Cloudflare, despite the company remaining unmoved by the latest campaign by recent targets. Clara Sorrenti, better known by her online handle Keffels, a Canadian Twitch streamer and transgender activist, and Liz Fong-Jones, site reliability engineer and developer advocate. The company stated, "We are not taking this action directly because of the pressure campaign. Whilst we have empathy for its organisers, we are committed as a security provider to protecting our customers, even when they run deeply afoul of popular opinion or even our own morals. The rhetoric on the Kiwi Farm site and specific targeted threats have escalated over the last 48 hours to the point that we believe there is an unprecedented emergency and immediate threat to human life." Responsible for at least 3 suicides of its targets and already banned in New Zealand after refusing to share data with the New Zealand police regarding the 2019 Christchurch mosque shootings. The hate forum predominantly targets minorities with organised group trolling, stalking and doxing, which is the sharing of personal information such as full name, home address, workplace, etc., leading to in-person harassment, and swatting, which is making fake reports of a serious law enforcement emergency such as a bomb threat or hostage situation to police with the intention of having the SWAT team or equivalent show up. After a brief respite, Kiwi Farms has resumed its regular bile on Russian servers.
Grim news.
Yeah, I've had personal friends targeted by that site. It is really disgusting. I hope more is done somehow to remove it.
Pending further investigation, hopefully Kiwi Farms gets taken out. Anyway, we're going to move on to some more happier things. We're going to play some music in relating to the really awesome Bigsound that's going on at the moment. One of those artists that we love and that we play a lot on Tranzmission, and that I also have a t-shirt of and I'm a crazy fan about, is Egoism. So we're going to listen to one of their tracks. This one here is Lonely But Not Alone. You were just listening there to Anybody Else by Levi Kohler, a fantastic local Brisbane artist who also is part of the Navi Karan collective. You're listening to Tranzmission on 4ZZZ. My name is Ez. I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Kai and I use they, she pronouns.
We are now joined by a very special guest. who I'll get her to speak in a moment. Frances Mulcahy? Almost, say it again.
Mulcahy.
Mulcahy. Okay, see, I played it in my head many times. I didn't get it quite right. Frances has been involved in teaching and storytelling her whole life. Early in transition, she contributed to My Trans Stories at Brisbane Powerhouse's Melt in 2019. Frances recently appeared at the Brisbane Comedy Festival 2022. There, she was one of 5 contributors to share Queer Stories, which was a sellout show. She was also a support act to Mel Buddle at the Ipswich Civic Centre. As Frances says herself, she is almost certainly the most entertaining, mature-aged transgender lesbian woman with a disability you'll ever see. Welcome, Frances.
Thank you, Frances. She, her here.
Awesome. How long have you been doing comedy?
I've really been doing comedy as an art form this year.
Wow.
I have done performance art and spoken word material since I was 6.
Well, there you go.
In fact, the highlight of my career was at the age of 9. I played the Archangel Gabriel at a school pageant, and I wore a long white dress and my altar boy surplice, and it was really pretty.
Yeah.
That's absolute highlight of my career to date. And, so I was involved in spoken word expression through school. That was mainly debating because I went to an all-boys school. Drama wasn't on the list. And through my adult professional life, I'm a retired doctor, I did a lot of teaching. So again, that's a different sort of spoken word stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At Ipswich, earlier this year, Ipswich Council put on a Come Along If You Like comedy workshop. And we had a full day workshopping, a 5 to 7 minute stand-up set performed there, and the lovely people at Ipswich thought I was entertaining, so they kept me. And I introduced the Mel Buddle show. I'm doing another one at the end of this month. And I submitted a one-woman show, which is a transgender-centric story, which is a bit over an hour. And they've taken it up. So I am doing stand-up comedy, and that's short form where you're trying to engage the audience with fairly regular punching points of humour. But the long-form stuff is, if you have an art degree, it's interwoven interactive narrative, and if you don't have an arts degree, it's bloody good yarn. And
you're really finding comedy as something that you're naturally gravitating towards, like, or
Look, I've been a performer my whole life. I just absolutely love it. People say to me, you know, do you get anxious before you perform? And I said, no, I just get excited. So I have to be careful not to speak too quickly because I get the get goings. But no, I just absolutely love it.
Amazing. So what do you think it is about your story that people find so captivating?
Oh, I don't know. Well, you have to ask them if they find it captivating. The long-form story, which the current version is called Frances with an E, it evolved from the 2 spoken words I've done at the Powerhouse that you mentioned in the intro. Thank you very much. And it was obvious to me that in our culture, even with some emerging acceptance of gender diversity, the culture naturally tries to force into a simple narrative, into a simple box.
Yeah.
And it was very clear to me, I've only been out for 4 years, so I was in my 60th year before I worked this out. And the last 4 years have been quite busy. I just roll my eyes for those who couldn't see my silly face. And it occurred to me that there's a group of transgender folk who aren't necessarily I knew I was a girl when I was 7 and just waited until I had enough support or opportunity to be the girl I am. I'm obviously talking about trans femme humans like me. There's a group of much older people who have had their authentic gender repressed by the culture, and some like me I had an epiphanous experience, just bus crash. One of my good friends is a bus crash lady. And that story isn't the one that you hear in the popular press. It's not the story that's used as an example of the now fairly well understood gender diversity. And it's to do with the culture of the times. So my story sets the parameters of the culture. It refers to the impact of my parents were married in the middle 50s. I was born in the late 50s. And as I said, I'm a retired doctor. And in the 1980s, when I was at university, I was taught as a matter of medical fact that if you were 46XY and you wore a dress, you had a sexual deviation. Mm-hmm. That was the medical education current of the day. Now, that shows you how much life has changed in the last 40 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That said, I sometimes reflect when I'm still involved in medical education, educating students and doctors, and sometimes I point out the people of my age in the medical industry, that is people in their 60s, who are very commonly the people in the senior roles, they got taught that at med school too. Mm. They got taught it was a perversion. Now, of course, a lot of them will have re-educated themselves. Hopefully. Mm. But in their history of development, they had a box for gender diverse people, and it was a box of illness and moral deviation. Mm-hmm. So what my story is about is, here's Frances, really happy, wakes up every morning just pleased to be me, for the last 4 years, after 60 years of living expletive crap.
Yeah.
And that's not the cultural story that's displayed. So I don't know if people are captivated, but it's another piece of information. And the thing I hope people will understand is, look how important, look how central to this person's welfare it is that they can be themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's the part of the story that unifies with, that I think will identify with other people in our communities.
Yeah.
It's just vital to be us.
It is. So it was a near-death experience that opened the Pandora's box of gender for you? Or just
an epiphanous experience, like a lightning bolt is the...
A lightning bolt, okay. So, but a metaphorical one?
No, it's actually biblical. New Testament, road to Damascus. Mm-hmm. It's an epiphany. It's a letter from God. Okay. So I'm just displaying my big words and my old Catholic education. No, just very quickly, at that point in my life, I was running competitively, doing trail running, and just loved it. And running in the bush was really good for me. I had developed a good friendship with Mui, who is my queer family now, and she's a gender diverse human, she, they. And that was my first experience of gender diversity. A whole lot of things came together, and I was at the gym looking in the mirror doing my cross-training weights for running, and I had a dialogue in my head about, why am I still miserable? Mm-hmm. And the answer went straight through my head, because you're supposed to be a woman. It was that much of a lightning bolt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was a bit more than I could cope with on the day.
Yes, it's every trans person has so many different stories and ways of revelation about it. And mine was very much a kicking and screaming experience. I was fighting myself inside constantly. Yeah, and so I understand that there's also those moments of like, I get it. And it can be both, a shock, a relief. It's a lot of things to have those realizations.
And being a child of the 60s, being a child of when I was a child, and being adopted, I do have childhood memory of wanting to be like the other girls. And I've got one in particular that's really precious. I won't share it today because I won't spoil the show.
Oh, don't do that. No, don't do that.
But my father made a very big fuss about choosing a boy. So there were, apart from the ordinary social constraints, if you had a penis, therefore you must be a boy, apart from that constraint, there was a in-family constraint that Pa wanted a boy. He chose one.
Right.
And since my gender awareness, I have recovered quite a variety of childhood memories where I wanted to be like the other girls, associated with the words, no, Pa chose a boy. But that was completely repressed, apart from the one precious one that I have. So it's still been a life journey for me, even though the lightning bolt was 4 years ago. And from the large number of people I've listened to, that's commonly true. It's a life story.
I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, I'm really, really grateful that you're here. Thank you so much for sharing as much as you just have as well. I guess you actually answered some of the other questions I was going to ask you, but you do have events coming up. So would you like to share a bit about your coming up events?
Just quickly, this weekend I'm popping down to Broken Hill for the Broken Heel Festival, and I'll be performing Frances with an E. 2 occasions, they're going to wear me out. And I'm also doing a half-hour queer stand-up, but it's about country life. Early in my medical career, as an obligation, I had to do country relieving. So as a 24-year-old, I was the only doctor in a country town, which is quite a wake-up call and fodder for lots of funny stories.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So I'm doing bush humour as comedy and Frances with an E there. Back to Brisbane, comedy set at Ipswich, and then Frances with an E is the event I'm really hoping will be supported on the 7th of October. Then I'm heading down to Newcastle for Newcastle Pride to perform there. Then I'm heading down to Adelaide for Adelaide Feast. Back at the Powerhouse at Melt for their comedy gala. I'm one of the several performers for that this year. And the thing I'm actually very proud about is that Sydney World Pride Extended has accepted my show. So
my God.
I'm
Congratulations.
performing in Darling Harbour in February.
Gosh, you're a busy lady.
Very.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting by the time I get to Sydney whether the show's even vaguely the same.
That's what happens when you tour.
As I learn and hopefully evolve.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. All the information on all these events is going to be up on the Tranzmission Facebook page at Trans Radio with a Z. If you'd like to check out everything there. Frances with an E will be performed. Yeah, there's one at Ipswich Civic Council and then Civic Centre. Sorry. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very blessed to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure, and thank you very much, and thank you to all our lovely listeners, beautiful humans that you are.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna listen to a track now. This is a brand new one by Ezra Furman. This one is Lilac and Black.
We all escaped from somewhere. Pictures of your day.
There you have Bushed Poetry F Hour photo. I've taken out the F word there for you. You will hear the accordion. That was June from Tranzmission. You're listening to Tranzmission on 4ZZZ. My name is Ez. I use he, him pronouns.
And my name is Kai, and I use they, she pronouns.
And we are now at the tail end of the episode, but not before we do some really cool stuff regarding Bigsound, which is currently going on. Kai has been tirelessly is the word I was looking for. Tirelessly trying to put together trans and queer artists that we thought that you might like to listen to or keep your eyes out, or maybe go check it out. Or
Yeah,
whatever
there's
it's doing.
a bunch of really, really cool up-and-coming artists playing this Bigsound. Yep.
Like everywhere. And
Obviously, we can't. It's not a conclusive list.
it's not like a fully comprehensive. Like it doesn't have everyone.
It's hard to know who, if people aren't actively saying that they are trans and queer, we're not just going to assume that you are. But, if you are a trans or queer musician, you should send your stuff into us. Let us know who you are so we can talk about you and we can play your music.
Yeah, we'd love to play your music, and sometimes it's hard to know because you don't list it. Maybe for personal reasons, that's totally fine. But if you want to be,
we get it, but we also want to play your music. We want to celebrate you.
we want to, yeah. And so, without further ado, I'm actually going to push play on the Tranzmission picks. These are some artists. I'm pretty sure pretty much all of these artists are trans. I think there's one in there that identifies as queer. So if you're looking for who to check out, here we go. Saint Ergo.
It's late we're watching late night TV holding me. I lie the way you squeeze me. I'm safe lost in your apple scented hair. You're touching me, warm skin to share.
Altar Boy.
Praise is your only child. Acclaim is your only hide.
Hawley.
Loosen all control I once had. What is it that draws me to you? I wanna be held to, baby, I dare you do it.
Egoism.
Ages, be here for ages. For ages, be here for ages.
Lion.
Gotta cut it with the chit chat, that's my cue on stage. Gotta stop.
June Jones.
Hiding the truth, shaving the point off of the end of the tooth. I'm sick of being perceived, and even if you saw me, you wouldn't believe. Start the day with caffeine, I dabble in a little dexamphetamine.
5 Island Drive. Platonic sex.
Do what's best for me. When I trust what you say, then I trust what you think. I don't know when you lie. I'm not sure when I kiss you goodbye.
Enola. Anesu.
Brown skin, melanin, shine. Brown skin, melanin, shine. Brown skin, melanin, shine. Brown skin, melanin.
Sophia.
Read the room, I'm quick to zoom. I got that Chanel, they blue, they sweet perfume. I'm moving at the speed of light and I like the fumes. Cause my shit's so hot that they right consume. I'm rapping with no ego. We know that they go wherever that we go. Give me a beat to freak on. Wrist with that Philippe on. How long is you gon' sleep?
Flower Kid.
Help me, I feel it in my chest and in my eyes. It's happening again tonight, and I've got no control this time.
So there you have it. Those are the transmission picks for Bigsound 2022. If you've missed some of those tracks you'd like to listen back, I am actually putting on the Transmission Facebook page at Trans Radio with a Z. Will be a list of all those artists. We did miss out on one though. Charlie.
Oh, yeah. Charlie, which is a project by Mia Tinkelman. They are definitely queer.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and they sound really cool.
It's Charlie without an. It's a Charly.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So yeah, they'll be around as well. You can also just head over to the Big Sound website. There's a list of all the artists there you can scroll through, but we've taken a lot of the effort out of it. Kai has succinctly wrapped up quite a lot of them there, and the list will be available on the Facebook page. So yeah, at Trans Radio with a Z. Yeah. You also were saying that Alter Boy have...
completely Auslan interpreted gigs and some music videos as well, I think.
Yeah.
And occasionally an on-stage exorcism. So I think they're definitely worth going to go check out.
It sounds like they will be a performance, you know. It will be, Altar Boy.
Two of the band members met during an Auslan class and decided to band together. So
Wow, there you go.
yeah.
I'm actually like really, really excited to see what collaborations come out of Bigsound, because that's usually the way, right? Like Bigsound is sort of like this hub of like all these artists come together and they meet each other and they're like, hey, we should do some projects.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of networking for the whole industry, really. Each little profile has also got like, this artist is looking for a label or, you know, an overseas agent. It's kind of like Tinder for artists.
Right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, so if you've liked anything that we've been talking about, any of the Bigsound artists that, pique your interest, you can check them all out. I'm particularly excited about Hawley, and then there's also, if you're listening on the podcast, I apologize for you not being here. If you're listening on the podcast, everything is on our Facebook page at Trans Radio with a Z, and also you can listen back to all our on demand as well. The 4ZZZ on demand means that you can listen back to the entire 1 hour length of the show with music, everything. All the podcast format will take out a lot of that music for you if you like things to be succinct. Yeah, there you go. But it is the end of Transmission today. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Transmission. See you next Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ.